Okay. Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome our parents of the class of 2024 to your first official freshman parent event here at Fort Lee High School. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lauren Karuba, and I am the Director of School Counseling Services. We have a lot of good things in store for you today. You are going to have the opportunity to meet the ninth grade counselor, Miss Ludi Green, who's on here. She has a great presentation in store for you. She's basically going to walk you through freshman year. And we also have the vice principal, Mr. Finizio, here, who is going to be the VP over the ninth grade class for your next 4 years. And he's going to come on and talk to you a little bit about attendance in a minute. But before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that we do have a lot of great things coming out of the school counseling office this year. One is this breakfast that we hold annually. Obviously, we are doing this differently this year than we've done it in the past, and hopefully in the future, we'll be able to move these breakfast meetings to in-person. So you can expect to have one of these every year that your child is in high school. You'll also be getting some alerts via Google Classrooms for the freshman class. So please ensure on the last slide of Ms. Green's presentation, she does list all of the Google Classrooms that your ninth graders should be a part of. So please make sure that you encourage your son or daughter to participate in them. That's where they're going to get all kinds of good information from us. We've also recently published Google check-in surveys where the kids can go on and kind of give Ms. Green a feel of how they're doing with virtual learning, if they need anything. You know, just because we are not in session doesn't mean that the whole guidance staff is not readily available to continue with one-on-one student check-ins the way we would if we were in person in school. So without further ado, I would like to turn this over to Mr. Finizio, who is going to introduce himself and tell you a little bit about his position here.
Thank you, Mr. Krupa. Good morning, everybody. Happy to be here with you. I think as most of you know, I was at the middle school last year as the vice principal there, and had the opportunity to move up to the high school where I actually started my administrative career. So in a sense, I'm coming home. I am happy to be here, happy to be with this 8th grade class as they move into high school. Hopefully that will provide them with a familiar face, you know, when we do hopefully return to the building in some capacity. But I'm happy to be here, happy to support you and your children in any way that I can as they make this transition into Fort Lee High School. As Mrs. Krupa mentioned, I do deal with the 9th grade specifically, as well as the 11th grade. It's myself and Mr. Diaz who are the 2 vice principals here at the high school. So we do split the grade levels when it comes to discipline issues or certain issues with students in class. So I do handle the 9th and 11th grade this year, and Mr. Diaz handles the 10th and 12th grade. One of the things I also handle is attendance for grades 9 through 12. So as you get started in high school and as your children are aware, high school attendance runs much differently than the middle school attendance. High school attendance is based on class attendance. Since the high school does not have a homeroom period like the middle school did, our attendance runs a little bit differently. So I kind of wanted to go over a few of those things because it is a big change for 9th grade parents as they transition to the high school. One of our periods during the day is always designated as our daily attendance period. So while we're in this virtual model, on a day 1, period 1 is our daily attendance period. And on a day 2, period 8 is our daily attendance period. So you may have received phone calls that your child was out from the daily attendance period. And the reason you're getting these phone calls is because they were absent from that one specific class on that specific day. It does not mean they were absent the whole day. It just means that they were absent from our quote unquote daily attendance period. And that is why our system is generating that phone call to you. When it comes to attendance also in the high school, there are stricter attendance limitations because as you all know, you know, as you start high school, the students are accumulating graduation credits. So there is a maximum number of absences that we do allow. For a full year course, students are allowed up to 15 absences before they lose credit in that course. So if a student gets to 16 unexcused absences, they will lose credit for that course and have to take some measures to make up those credits either in the summer or through an online course. For a semester course, students are allowed up to 7 absences, and on the 8th absence, they lose credit. So this is very much a change from what you're used to in the middle school. And I know that firsthand just from being there as a vice principal, that's something that you're going to want to pay attention to. When you hear the number 15, it does seem like a lot, you know, when you say it like that. But there are students that do reach that maximum number and do lose credit at the high school. So I just urge you to really pay attention to the Genesis Parent Portal, and specifically the tab that says class attendance, because that will give you a clear picture of each individual class and the number of absences that your child may have in that specific course. So you may have a period 1 class where your child has more absences than a period 3 class if your child comes in late. So that is something that is a very much a change. I didn't want to take the time to mention that here to you today. I know Ms. Cerulli Green is going to be going over the Genesis Parent Portal specifically, and I know she'll give you a little bit more details on this as she goes through her slideshow here. But I did really want to take the chance to you know, welcome you all to the high school. This is a great place. This is a place that has a lot to offer your child. One of the things that I definitely will need your help with is attendance, and helping your child get to school, because while we have so many great things to offer here, one of the things that we definitely need your help with is having your child attend regularly. And, you know, for 99% of you, I don't think that, you know, that applies, and it's going to happen. But I do want to mention that because it is so important. And while we have so many great things to offer, we do need your help in getting the children in here. So, you know, if you have any questions or concerns, I'm available. I'm in the building right now. I plan on being here while we're in virtual learning for the most part, but I'm always accessible via email. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And again, welcome to the high school. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Finizio. So at this time, I'm just going to give you guys a little bit more information about the counseling office. So when your student enters in grade 9, we have one guidance counselor, and that is Miss Ludi Cerulli Green. So she will have all of the freshmen for this academic school year. After 9th grade, we transition to a 10 to 12th grade counselor, and that counselor will remain with your child for the remainder of high school. They'll help with the college application process, writing their letter of recommendation, and all of that good stuff. So just so you know, Ms. Green will be with you for this academic school year. And at the conclusion of Ms. Green's presentation, oh, this light, I'm sorry. Our lights in the high school are an automatic, so sometimes they just turn off and turn on if I haven't moved around the office enough. So, you know, we're conserving energy. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying, at the conclusion of Ms. Green's presentation, we will be doing a question and answer format. So if you look on the bottom of your Zoom screen, if you scroll your mouse over the center bottom, you're going to see the option to raise your hand. So if you do have any questions, you'll be able to raise your hand. I'm then able to promote you to a panelist. So you'll be able to see yourself on the screen the way you see myself, Ms. Green, and Mr. Finizio, and you'll be able to ask your questions. So we just ask that you save your questions to the end, and we will get to everyone. So at this point, I am going to turn this over to Ms. Green. I am just going to make her a host so she can share her screen. Okay. Go ahead,
Thank you,
Ludi.
Mr. Finizio and Mrs. Karuba. Good morning, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Mrs. Green, and I will be your 9th grade guidance counselor. Thank you so much for joining. It is an honor to be here, and virtually we can really make this work. In the last few weeks, I've spoken to many parents, and we've been effectively communicating via email and Google Meet. So again, I encourage you to continue this Parental involvement is directly correlated to student achievement, and we can solve many problems. Although we're not in person, we could solve many problems together. If you have a question, if you need to be clarified, or if you have any doubts with the way the school is beginning, I'll be here for you. So again, I congratulate you for constantly emailing me. I emailed you back. We've done a great job in the beginning of the school year. So please continue to do so. At this time, I will present the PowerPoint. Again, welcome to Fort Lee High School, class of 2024. Today, I will discuss what the school counseling services provide. I will review the graduation requirements, extracurricular activities. Mr. Finizio already reviewed attendance, but we could discuss that during Q&A as well towards the ending of the presentation. And I will also review the Fort Lee websites and show you where announcements, programs of the program of study is located, the school calendar, and other important resources. Towards the very end, I will also show you a video on how to log on to Genesis Parent Portal, because this is an important resource to monitor your child, to see their grades, to understand where they are and how they could progress. And at any time, using the Genesis Parent Portal, you can email me and we can discuss progress together. So, school counselor, what do I do here? I wear many different hats, as you can see on this picture. I provide various services to help develop academic and social needs to help your child succeed now at the high school level and in the future. We help explore personal interests and academic needs. Here I have course selection. I sit with your child to really map out what their individual needs are, academically, socially, and emotionally. I schedule classes, typically around January or February. I monitor progress. We talk about self-esteem and motivation, peer relations, study skills. I even offer tutorial referrals. Sometimes seniors have to do community service, and they actually help freshman class with tutoring throughout the school year. I'm a liaison. I help parents with questions or concerns, dealing with teachers if there is a conflict or just questions. I also discuss throughout the year the harassment, intimidation, bullying, HIB, because this is a concern and students in 9th grade are still learning, and we learn through trial and error. So there's a lot of different things that I do as a counselor, but the main thing that I do is listen to your child. I need to really pay attention to what their individual needs are, because each child is different, they all learn differently, and it's important that I meet their needs at their level. There are a lot of different groups at the high school, but each child, and I'm going to reiterate, each child is different and they need individual attention and guidance. So let me just explain. Here it says 3 class lessons. I also am involved in going into the classroom. I'm not sure if I will be able to this year, but I will definitely visit the classrooms virtually. I usually visit the English classes. And with these classes, again, I talk about HIB, the harassment, intimidation, and bullying. I discuss the graduation requirements so that they are aware exactly where they're mapped out to and what each level is. And I also talk about Naviance. So Naviance is a comprehensive website that helps students streamline the college application. Naviance is going to be used in 9th, 10th, and 11th and 12th grade. In 12th grade, this is the website that they'll, like I said, use to apply to college. But in ninth grade, we're not going to take that so seriously. What we're going to do, we're going to explore their personality, and they're taking surveys called All About Me and the Career Interest Survey. This helps them reflect about who they are, their personality. It helps develop their thoughts, and it helps them see where they can possibly go in the future with majors in college and careers. And this is very exciting. This is a great way and a great resource for you to speak to your child once they have a personality trait that is developed after the survey is taken. And this is a great form to, and an excellent way to begin talking to your child about their future. So the graduation requirements, each student must earn a minimum of 120 credits to graduate. Within the 120 credits, there are specific classes that they need to take in order to graduate. So here briefly, you can see English, 20 credits, math, 15, history, 15, science, 15, and physical education and health, 20 credits. World language, 5 credits. However, most colleges require 2 or more years of world language. Continuing with the graduation requirements, there are 21st century skills that they need to take, which are 5 credits. That is considered a practical, and a fine art, also 5 credits. A practical is typically a computer programming class or a graphic design, and everything is listed in the program of studies, which I will discuss in the next few slides. But this is a quick overview. Financial literacy and the art of writing, they're both half credit, 2.5 credits, and it's a requirement for graduation. The next requirement for graduation is the school and community service, 2.5 credits, which equals 50 hours. Students enrolled in AOF or IB will take the Intro to Business and Entrepreneurship or IB Economics in place of the art of writing and the principles of personal finance. This next slide is directly taken from the program of studies, and I'll help you locate where that is in our Fort Lee website. This is exactly what I just spoke about. It's mapped out in a more structured way. English, PE, social studies, science, world language, visual arts, practical art, general electives, 12.5 credits, community service, 2.5, financial literacy, the art of writing. And of course, in order to graduate the Fort Lee High School, students must pass the NJSLA, English and math, or achieve proficiency in the PSAT, SAT, ACT, or AccuPlacer. So when students begin the Fort Lee High School, I always tell them everything begins to count in ninth grade. And I'll explain that with a transcript that I have in the next slide. So when a student become a freshman, everything starts to count, literally. All courses, grades, and credits become part of a student's transcript and are used in determining a student's final GPA. So this is what an actual student transcript looks like. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse moving, but the college will receive this transcript with their name, student ID, gender, basic information, and then you see 4 boxes: 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, and 12th. The grades that are implemented here are 9th, they're numerically put, and the credits are 5 credits. 10th grade, again, and 11th grade. These 3 years, 9th, 10th, and 11th, are the most important years for college application, and I'll explain why. When your child is in 12th grade, whether they're doing early decision or early action, or they're applying regular, they'll be applying November, December, and January typically. In these few months, the GPA is not calculated, is not cumulative yet. The grades will be sent mid-year. So that is why 9th grade grades and GPA, 10th grade and 11th grade are so important, because the cumulative GPA is what colleges will be seeing. Now, as you can see, you only have the numerical grade and the credits here. community service and extracurricular activities are not included. This is where the guidance counselor in 12th grade will write a beautiful recommendation letter showing off all the wonderful things that they've done throughout the high school year. Colleges acceptances are now very holistic, so they look at grades, they look at community service, they look at a variety of things that they've done throughout the school years. However, everything does begin to count in 9th grade because these are the cumulative grades that that colleges will first see when they apply.
Ms. Green, I'm just going to interrupt you for 1 minute. The
Sure.
principal has come and she wants to introduce herself. So just
wonderful.
hold on 1 second. Good morning, everybody. I apologize for the way that we have to sign on here. We are sharing our webinar features so that we all can have access to as many participants as possible. But I welcome you to Fort Lee High School. I know this isn't the traditional way that we would be having this meeting, and we hope that sooner rather than later we're able to have these type of in-person events. I do want to let you know that you are in very good hands with Ms. Cerulli Green. And we are really looking forward to this school year, even though it's not traditional. We're looking forward to our back to school night activities and you having the opportunity to meet with all of our teachers virtually. And my door is always open. I know that a lot of you may have some questions. Please feel free to email me. We will be planning some sort of orientation activity before October 19th to allow freshman students to come in the building and get acclimated to where their classes are located. As soon as we have that information, we will share it with you. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do it as one large group, but we will plan for smaller groups to come in and get themselves comfortable, walk around the building, and find their actual classes. So I hope you have a great day. There's a lot of good information here, and please feel free to reach out to me with any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Glenn. Okay, back to the PowerPoint. Present achievement. It's very important that your child starts very strong in September, October, November, and continue. And that's why I encourage parental involvement, emails, questions to their teachers. Teachers are here to support you. If your child is in a regular class and will like to advance to honors, for example, they need to meet 3 criteria. The criteria is the grade. So for example, from regular to honors, they need to earn a grade of 93 or above. They need to have an average of 3.0, and they also need to have a teacher recommendation. If, for example, by the time we sit down, I usually schedule students in 9th grade going to 10th grade around January and February. If, for example, your child does not meet one of the criteria, they can appeal for, they could go through the appeal process. And then by the ending of the 3rd marking period, if they meet the criteria, they will qualify to advance to honors or AP placement. Okay. Community service. Again, community service is a graduation requirement for all students. All students are required to complete 50 hours of community service, which equals 2.5 credits. Students can sign up for community service in any year prior to graduation with Mr. Cuzzo, our SAC counselor. We highly recommend to begin ours freshman year. Again, the guidance counselor, when your child reaches 12th grade, could write wonderful things and build their resume up depending on how much community service they did and other extracurricular activity. So yes, this will be shown on the transcript that says community service 2.5, but this is also an opportunity for the guidance counselor in 12th grade to really write up a beautiful recommendation letter to enter college. All assignments must be pre-approved and signed by parents and Mr. Cuzzo. And Mr. Cuzzo's Google Classroom code is 4NBPRNU. Please join. 1 second. Okay. One of the greatest things about Fort Lee is student involvement. And I love how much students are able to join clubs and represent Fort Lee. They are wonderful with school spirit, and this is a direct, it's driven by the students. So I encourage your child in 9th grade to start joining clubs so they can feel part of this community. There are a lot of benefits to joining clubs. As you can see to the right, they'll learn more about themselves. They'll learn how to work in teams. They'll learn how to engage in a diverse group of people because there are many people. There's a lot of different room for, for growth. The 2021 high school club brochure will be available in October. I think some clubs already started. I said they're driven by the students, and I believe that many teachers are telling them the codes and the clubs that have started, from PE teachers and all the different academics. I'm sure that they've been exposed and told where to join with using the Google Classroom. But the final brochure will be coming out in October. Athletics offered at the Fort Lee High School. The director of athletics is Mr. Michael Raftery. His email is above. And these other sports provided by season. Okay, Mrs. Karuba will talk about the hybrid schedule.
Okay, so I know that many of our parents have questions in regards to the hybrid in-person schedule that is currently set to begin on Monday, October 19th. So first and foremost, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. Obviously, any of this information is subject to change. At our last board meeting, it was just decided that our intermediate school was going to go back to school as of October 5th. So things are changing at the drop of a hat. But as of right now, we are set to return to school on October 19th for those who are choosing. So in Genesis right now, in the parent portal, there is a survey that all parents and students have to complete that's asking whether or not you want to remain virtual for now, or you would like to return to school in the hybrid fashion on October 19th. So what is hybrid going to look like? Hybrid is going to be on an A, B, C cohort, which means alphabetically all students will be split into 3 groups, Group A, Group B, and Group C. All of this information was given out at the restart plan, what Mr. Rhoda had emailed to all parents on the 23rd of August. So you can look back to that. Wednesdays will be virtual for all students. So that includes obviously the virtual students, and that obviously includes the hybrid students. On our next slide, I'm going to show you what that hybrid schedule may look like. So on Monday, you're going to see that there's a week 1 and a week 2. So I'm just trying to think of the best way to explain this. So week 1 and week 2. If you are an A cohort, you're going to go to school 2 days back to back. B cohort, 2 days back to back, and C cohort, 2 days back to back. So this is the sample that we're going with right now. Again, the administration is meeting. This might change. Now that we've been virtual for a few weeks, we've become familiar with it. Our teachers have become familiar with it. Slight changes may happen. And when I say slight changes, it may be changes to the amount of time that the kids are in school. So when you look at this schedule, you'll see that it's a 50-minute period. We likely may change that to a 1-hour session like they're doing right now. So that might change, and the periods that are offered on day 1 and the periods offered on day 2 may change as well, but nothing is set in stone. So if you look here on Monday of week 1, you're going to see that it's cohort A, day 1. Tuesday is cohort A, day 2. Wednesday is virtual for all. Thursday, cohort B, day 1. Friday, cohort B, day 2. Now cohort C will start the following week. So it's Monday is cohort C, day 1. Tuesday is cohort C, day 2. And then Wednesday again is virtual for everyone. So if you are in cohort A and you choose the hybrid model, you would attend day 1 and day 2, but you would then be virtual Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesday is a virtual day where you see all 9 periods, where Thursday and Friday, you would just attend the periods assigned to day 1 and the periods assigned to day 2. Now, if you are virtual and all virtual and plan to remain virtual, you're still going to follow the day 1 and day 2 schedule. You're just not coming to school. So the cohort of the cohort of A, B, and C don't matter. So Monday you would follow day 1, Tuesday you would follow day 2, Wednesday would be the all virtual day where you see all 9 periods, Thursday back to day 1, and Friday back to day 2. So again, the times of these may change, the periods may change, but this is essentially what it will look like. If you are hybrid, it'll be on a 3 cohort ABC transition into the building. I'm sure we may have some questions about that at the end, and I will happily answer any that you have.
Thank you, Lauren. Okay, now I want to briefly navigate through the Fort Lee website and show you where the most important resources are, especially as freshman parents. You should know how to locate the school announcements, locate the calendar, locate the program of studies, parent Genesis portal, the computer insurance forms. I'll show you where to locate that. And I encourage everyone to look into the Worth Ave group, because if your child for some reason drops their computer, cracks their screens, if someone steals their computer, something with they spill liquid and it now is no longer working, this insurance covers the loss. So I really encourage computer insurance. And I'll also show you where to find the lunch form and the prepay option on Pay For It. And again, the Genesis Parent Portal. Let's see here. Jumping to Genesis Parent Portal, this is a great way. Actually, I am going to go back and I'm going to navigate through the Fort Lee website first. So this is flboe.com, and this is the home page. The easiest way to find out what the latest news is by scrolling down the main page. So right now you have school reopening for K through 4, school return survey, and like I said, this is one of the easiest ways. This is, one option. I'll show you other options. The school calendar is located here, the PDF form, and that is always subject to change depending on weather or if anything occurs with the current condition that we're in with COVID-19. Under administration, here under curriculum and instruction, you can find the program of studies. The program of studies is a diverse course description to help with post-secondary goals. It shows all courses offered at the Fort Lee High School, along with informational pages and anything that you're looking for. Any questions actually is in the program of studies. If you continue to go down the technology, this is where you would find the Chromebook insurance form. You could click on that and that will lead you to the link to pay for insurance. The Board of Education and parents. Here, this is where this is your go-to right here. So parent resources, free and reduced meals, Genesis Parent Portal, the lunch menu, and a lot more. I encourage you to just look through all of this here. If you click on parent resources, this is where you will find a video on how to log on to the Parent Genesis portal. And I will access this video for you so that you can see and play for it right now. I am going to stop that and try to make it larger. Okay.
Ludi, is there sound on the video?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear it? One second.
One second, everyone. We just have to, I have to set her sound up.
Hello, today I'm going to show you how to get into the parent portal for Genesis. The first thing you want to do is look for a packet that the district will send you with your username and login information. So enter your username, password, and click on login, and it will take you to your page. By default, you enter student data page and your summary page. Here you will see an image of your child, the child's homeroom, counselor, age, date of birth. You will see the current schedule. You see the periods, the courses, when it meets, the rooms, and the teachers. If a particular class is highlighted in green, that means that child is currently in that class. And over here, you will see the attendance and any assignments that that child might have for that week. If you have several children, you can switch between children by going here and then selecting the child. The next option is to go to attendance. If you click on attendance, you will see the attendance for the current school year. There's a legend over here for your reference, and over here you see the total tardies, excused, unexcused, and total absences. If you click on class attendance, you see the daily attendance for your child and the courses up here. You can change the month by clicking up here. The next option is grading. If you click on that, you will see again the current schedule and all the marking period grades. The next option is gradebook. In the gradebook section, you will see again the courses. You can get a printable version of the weekly assignments and any assignments that the teacher may have. If you click on list assignments, you have more options to search for course, status, assignment due date, and the show assignment dates. Do not forget to log out.
So as you can see, you can monitor your child's attendance, grades through Parent Genesis Access. Again, if you are unable to access your username, you may, or password, press forgot my password, and a temporary password will be emailed to your inbox. If you've done everything correctly, you may also troubleshoot with Mr. Jason Ruggiero at FLBOE flbioe.com. Another great way to stay in the know is this mobile app. I have it. And instead of going into the Fort Lee website and scrolling down under news, you can use this if you have an Android or an iPhone. Again, if you look at the main screen, it says news and events, Genesis Parent Portal. You could enter directly through your phone and you'll get daily notifications. I recommend this as well. This is something new. Our school utilizes the school messenger system to deliver text messages, and they go straight to your mobile phone with important information about events, school closings, and safety alerts and more. And because we're in the situation that we're in, I believe that this is one of the easiest ways to get notifications from the Fort Lee School District. Again, my name is Mrs. Cerulli Green, Fort Lee counselor. It is an honor and privilege to be here. This is my 24th year in Fort Lee, and I am proud to be here and assist your family, your children. And please, I encourage you to continue to email me, because we did an amazing job at the beginning of the school year. The last 2 weeks, like I said, we really worked hard together and we made it work. It seemed almost seamless, although we were virtual. But please, my email is lcerulgreen@flboe.com. My phone number is below. However, it's better if you email me and continue to communicate with me through email. If at any time you need to see me, we can set up a Google Meet and we can discuss any information further. Mrs. Green, my classroom code in the bottom here is VXPU5WT. I will be posting updated information, the school counseling announcements, classroom code, and freshman classroom 2024 code as well. Thank you so much, Mrs. Karuba.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Green. At this time, we are going to take any questions that anyone might have. So Ms. Green, if you could just make me the host again of the presentation. So if you look at your screen, there is a button that says raise hand at the bottom, right in the center. So if you have any questions at this point, please raise your hand. I will promote you to a panelist. It is up to you whether or not you want to share your screen, which would be a picture of yourself, and ask your question. So the first person who has their hand raised, and I apologize if I mispronounce anyone's names, is M. Delanus. I am going to promote you as a panelist. You may unmute yourself and ask your question. Oh, sorry, I actually mistakenly unmuted someone else. Marizella Alfaro, you may unmute yourself and share your picture if you'd like.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So regarding, and thank you so much for the presentation from everybody. It was extremely informative. In regards to the community services, how is that going to work with the situation that we're going through at this point?
So we have we are going to have a lot of virtual options right now. There is a community service Google Classroom that is available for students. We ask that you join. You know, like I know that's something that we did in the spring, was students had the ability to virtually connect with some of the older folks in the area through email writing, Google chatting. You know, it was hard for people that may have been living in senior citizen communities that weren't allowed out of the house. So that was just one way of doing it. We were also putting window decorations. So if you decorated the windows outside of your home for first responders and photographed it and sent it to us, that was another way. So we will be coming up with some unique ideas to get students through it. Okay. And again, they have 4 years to complete this. So it's not something that has to be done this year, but we always tell our freshmen to start thinking about it, because before you know it, you'll be a senior and you'll need to get it done.
Absolutely. And whatever they choose this year, is that what they have to keep for the remaining of the high school?
No, so we have some students that may do, you know, for the windows, if it took them 5 hours to draw the picture that was on their windows, they would get just 5 hours from that, and then they would need to do other activities for the other 45. It does not have to be doing the same community service activity. So it's a whole plethora of things that they could do. Now, if you
Okay.
choose to volunteer at a local vet's office for some reason, and that's where you want to get your full 50 hours, you can.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. So next, we do have M. Delanus. You may unmute yourself.
It was regarding the community service, so you answered most of my questions. Thank you.
Okay, great.
you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I am going to promote Zoran Lazaric to a panelist. Zoran, you may unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hello.
What
Hi.
were the 3 criteria for the honors class?
Go ahead, Ms. Green. I'll let you answer.
So the 3 criteria to meet honors is having a GPA of 3.0 or above, 93 average or above for that specific class, and a teacher recommendation. If
So,
at any time, so I usually, like I mentioned, I schedule students in the month of January and February. If at any time your child has not met one of the criteria, they can continue to work towards meeting the criteria by filling out the appeals process. It's a paper requesting honors, and they will have to work towards bringing their grades up or teacher recommendation.
um, so there is a, how is the GPA different from the grade?
Is the GPA, it's a total grade point average for all the classes, 3.0 or above.
Okay, plus this 93% for
Exactly, for
one
that
class.
particular class.
Okay, and I have another question. Can we get the PowerPoint, copy of this PowerPoint?
Yes, it's gonna, the whole video is gonna be emailed out to everyone.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. That would be all.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. All right, so next I am going to promote Hala Jabbar to a panelist. Hala, you may unmute yourself.
Good morning, and thank you so
Good
much for the
morning.
informative presentation. It was really, we needed that, I'm telling you. Okay, so my question also is related to the honors, exactly, and I would like to understand better how does being in honors class is going to affect or promote for the college. How does it affect it?
So when you are in an honors class or you're in an AP class, the GPA weight is held, it's a higher numerical value than if you're in a regular class. And you know what? I actually have this. So basically, can everyone see that? Rudy, can you see that?
Make it closer.
Closer?
Yeah.
So, and this is also listed in our program of studies, but if you have an A plus in an AP class, that's calculated in your GPA as a 4.9. An honors class is a 4.65, and regular is 4.0. So depending on the level of the level of rigor of the course is the higher numerical average calculated into the student's cumulative GPA. So for example, if you get let's say you have a B plus in an AP class, that goes in as a 3.9. In honors, a 3.65, and regular is 3.40. So the more competitive your classes are, the more competitive your GPA will be.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next, I am going to be promoting Haibak. Haibak, you are now a panelist. You may unmute yourself to ask. Oh, no? I think they may have opted out. Okay. Oh no,
Oh,
there we
she's
go.
back.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Okay, sorry. Someone already asked about the community service, 50 hours. In the past, I know you have to complete that 50 hours in one semester. Is still the same, or do you consider it 4 years of 50 hours community service?
We encourage everyone to begin freshman year, but this community service can be stretched out throughout the 4 years of high school.
Okay, great. So there was a different than before.
Yeah, we changed that a few years ago. We used to tell the kids they had to complete all their hours within 1 year, whether that be 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th or 12th, but that's been changed.
Okay, great. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have EJ. I am going to promote you as a panelist. EJ, you may unmute yourself and ask your question, and you're welcome to share your screen as well.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear
Good,
me?
how are you?
Yes, good morning.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. My question is virtual class. So I chose, virtual class whole time for my son. But my question is, can we switch to, the hybrid sometime? Because I'm not sure how many kids chose, virtual. And I'm
Okay.
worried about, kind of a social life with his friends. And whenever he's on break, he tried to do, video things. So I'm really worried.
So yes, if you would like to change from virtual to hybrid, you can. You can just go right back onto that survey and you can do that now. Now, I think once we get a little closer to October 19th, I don't know if you will have that ability. It may be that you have to wait until the end of marking period 1, which is about the end of November. So if you are thinking of changing from virtual to hybrid or vice versa, from hybrid to virtual, you can make that change now. Just go right back into Genesis, into the survey that you completed, and you can do that. I can also tell you, as of yesterday, we had about 80% of the building had completed the survey, and it was about 55% had opted for all virtual and 50% opted for hybrid. So it's about a 50-50 split right now of who's coming to school and who is going to be going virtual. Now remember, the only thing I want to stress with the hybrid model is you would not be coming to school every day. You would be coming to school with your cohort, which would be 2 days out of a 6-day cycle.
Okay, got it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Okay. We have about 4 more hands raised, just so everyone knows. Okay, so the next person is Aurora. I am going to promote Aurora to panelist. Aurora, you may unmute yourself and share your screen if you'd like. Aurora, are you there? Aurora? Oh, there you go. You're
You
muted,
have to
Aurora.
unmute yourself. Unmute. There you go.
You are unmuted, Aurora.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can
Still
hear you.
can hear you. Maybe try the volume.
Okay. I am going to promote another panelist while Aurora works on her sound. David, you may unmute yourself and ask your question. Aurora, I'm going to leave you there if you are able to fix your sound, but at this point, David, you may unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good
Just had a
morning,
question regarding the community service. In the past, for college, 50 hours is required to graduate, but colleges generally want 100 hours. Is that still the case?
So colleges do not have a requirement on community service. What I can tell you colleges want to see is that a student is active within their community. Now, when I say active within their community, that could mean that they're doing something after school, whether it be participating in sports, participating in clubs. You know, a lot of our students do work, and they can write in their college application why they're working. Maybe they're helping their families financially, maybe they're babysitting, maybe they're actually taking care of a younger brother or sister. So they just need to be able to write something in their resume about what they're doing outside of the school day. It does not have to be community service.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay. I'm not sure what happened to Aurora, but Aurora, if you're out there, you can raise your hand again and we can try to get to your question. At this point, I am going to promote A. Morris to panelists, and you may unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi.
And we have about 3 more questions left just for our audience.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, my name is Amaris, and I have a question because I see the AP class and the honor class. I see that there's a lot of kids, like they have very good grade. And I wonder, what do you guys do for kids that they're struggling in school? Like sometimes I've been in school and I'm in Foley district for, my son has been here since kindergarten, and I see a lot of programs, like they help kids that they're advanced already, but I don't see program that the kids are struggling. Even like when they were going to middle school, there was program for math. Like my son always struggling in math. And I wondered, I never seen there's program for kids that are struggling, the only program for kids that are advanced. How can you guys be helping for high school? That's my question.
So we do actually have programs in place for some of our kids that may be having a hard time in math or English. And at the high school, there's a class called Math and ELA Strategies. And that is normally the class that we suggest students take if they need a more guided approach. So what that course is essentially a study hall where kids are able to work on, half the time they're able to work on assignments in other classes, but the other half the time is spent kind of giving some basic skills instruction in both math and English. So Amaris, if you could just email us, email Miss Green and give her your child's name, we can kind of work one-on-one with you to see where your child's needs are. Oh, I'm so sorry about this light.
No problem.
Very frustrating, as you can tell. And then we can kind of go that way once we know exactly what they need.
To be honest with you, like I find when he do math and they correct, they don't show you when they had the mistake. And that's one thing they should be focused. Like if you do a test, they should show you this is where you make the mistake. So like that
Absolutely.
You can recorrect. And I find since he's been struggling in math, I don't see that help in the school. Like they just do a test. They just do the test and they give you, that's it, your score, and they don't go one by one. You made a mistake in this one. How do you correct and go through that? You know, like I find this is very important to go to reform, like to go after you have the test, see where you make the mistake, you know. And
that's
I know Ms. Green.
Yes, that's best practice. And you know, I understand that teachers have after school hours, so I encourage your son or daughter to virtually meet their teacher after school, because that's the time where the gap could be filled when something is not understood in the classroom or during a test. That's where the clarification starts. And that's where your child could also build a really strong relationship and rapport with the classroom teacher. But as Mrs. Karuba said, please email me so that I could specifically look into your child and see how I can help their specific needs.
Thank you so much. I know you, Miss Green. You know Samuel Gosgarian. I'm
Oh my
Samuel
goodness.
Gosgarian.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how
It's
are
so
you?
good. I'm so happy that we have this meeting. I thank you guys. I have one more question. When they go back to school, do they need to have the coronavirus test? Are they going to be testing the kid and stuff like that? That's what another concerning I have.
No, we will not be testing students for the coronavirus. And the Board of Ed right now is currently working out exactly what the return to school is going to look like. I think at this point, and I hope I'm not speaking, misspeaking, but I think at this point there will be temperature checks walking into the building, and
Okay.
there may be some kind of requirement by parents to input information into Genesis about their students' health on a daily basis. But again,
right.
that's all being worked out and talked about now. But no, we will not be testing students.
Okay. All right. No, because I
All
was
right.
wondering in New York, they're doing that, like private school, they're requiring that, but I don't know.
Private,
It's something that the Foley, they were doing that, so that's what I was concerning. All right.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thank you.
Really nice to hear
Thank
you. And please communicate with me, email me, you know my email, and we'll work together.
Okay, at this point, I am going to promote Andre Pastoyanitz to a panelist. Andre, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, but you may unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Hi.
Hey, good to see you, good to listen to you, and yeah, we have to adjust with all the remote format. And actually, with the virtual setting, the kids can be late to class for a variety of reasons, right? And as a parent, I want to hold them accountable for, when it's their fault, like, oh, I messed up my schedule. But it's also equally important for them to know that we, the parents, also have their back. And so I wanted to ask, what is the procedure if like lateness to class, or if they, for God forbid, miss a class for unforeseen circumstances? Let's say like internet connection went down, or something that the kids have no control over, and then what's the procedure of us explaining to a counselor or to a teacher that whether that lateness should be excused or not excused, and how does that would work?
So for connectivity issues,
we're
I
having
always encourage students to communicate with their teachers after, once they do get connected again, and that's self-advocating. Ninth graders still lack that, and I encourage all ninth graders that if they do miss a class for any reason, to email the teachers directly and as quickly as possible so that they are aware of the situation at home. Teachers right now are extremely flexible because of the circumstance. So at that point, things should be resolved and students should not be penalized grade-wise. If this is something that's constantly recurring, we need to talk about connectivity resources. Mrs. Karuba, is there anything else, or?
No, I can promise you we're already encountering some of those situations, and our teaching staff has been more than flexible with excusing those absences. So it's not something to panic about. Look at us during this presentation. We had a little tech blip and playing Mr. Earl Green's sound. So we know that this is not something that's going to be perfect in a day, and we are more than willing and happy to work with our students when they have issues.
Oh, thank you so much.
If at any time, if your child still feels unsure or embarrassed to email the teacher, tell them to email me, and then I can communicate through them. And then until they earn or gain the confidence, I can, I'll be the liaison between your child and the teacher. But again, I do encourage them to email the teacher directly and as quickly as possible.
All right, thank you so much. And I have one other quick question. With the in-person attendance, the time for like in-person arrival is 8 a.m. to 8:15 p.m. Could you just briefly maybe explain what the procedure would be for entering the school? Is it like temperature scan or questionnaire or something?
So again, that's all in the process of being worked out. To my knowledge, that students will be assigned to an entry. There'll be 4 entries throughout the high school, and it again is going to be, I believe, broken down by last name. but there will be more information given on all of this prior to the hybrid opening.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you. Okay. So next, we have 2 more questions. Marzella Alfaro, I am going to promote you to panelist, and you may ask your question.
Here we go. Can you hear me? Thank you.
Yes,
We
we can.
can.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So in regards to the attendance, I know Dr. Vinicio went over. Can you explain to me again, because I believe he said the 15 absences is the maximum, but then he mentioned something about 7, and that's where I got a little confused.
So 7 absences is if it's for a semester course.
Okay.
So a semester course, none of your children would be taking semester courses now. They don't take any until grade 10 when they take the art of writing and personal finance. So when they are in semester courses, that's only for marking period 1 and 2, or for marking period 3 and 4. And that's when they would only be allowed 7 absences, because obviously it's only a half a year course.
Okay, perfect. And that's not until
10th grade.
Okay, okay, very good. That's what I was missing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. And Zoran Lazaric, it looks as if you have another question. I'd like to promote you to panelist. You may unmute yourself.
Hey, thank you very much for this presentation again. And want to ask, what are the Google Classroom codes that you posted in this presentation? Is that for parents or for students?
They're for students.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Parents are always welcome to follow along. The student is able to invite the parent. So I definitely encourage parents to ensure that their children have invited them to participate in these Google Classrooms. Just in case they miss an important announcement, you can get it for them.
So is that for all the classes or for
all
certain?
the classes? Your children can invite a parent to participate.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
And our last question, we have Aurora coming back. Aurora, I am promoting you to panelist.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, finally. Hi, thank you for the presentation.
You're welcome.
And my question is about AP classes. For a 9th grader, when the student can be on AP class?
So the students in 9th grade do not have the opportunity to take any AP classes. In grade 10, they can take AP US History 2. And also there is, if they are in the pre-IB program, they'll have the opportunity to take AP Economics. That is only for our students that are in pre-IB in grade 10. Any of our other students that want to take the AP Economics can take it in grades 11 and 12.
So if the student will be like it's in IB, it can take the AP in grade 10, correct? Not before.
Not before.
Yes.
Okay, great. Again, and one more question I have about the activity, sport activity, like what they gonna do this period, except the gym that they are doing at home. Can they be promoted with something else or no?
For PE you mentioned?
Yes.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
No, what about the sport activity? Are you gonna do any sport activity in the school too?
So we do have sports happening right now. The sports programs are running right now.
Oh, they are running?
Yes, they are. Our extracurricular activities, like our clubs, they will become up and running probably, I would say, next month. There'll be a newsletter that goes out to all parents and students on how to join them. You'll probably be joining through through Google Classrooms, and they'll be virtual for a little while, but they will have the ability to sign up to participate in them, which we highly recommend all students do. But our sports right now are meeting in person.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it looks like we have one more question. I am going to promote Andre back to a panelist.
Okay.
We can hear you, Andre.
Great. So sorry, I forgot to ask. I remember in the past there was a partnership between Fort Lee High School and Bergen Community College about having some BCC courses in our district. Is it still on, or has it been discontinued?
We do, but our partnership is stronger with FDU and Syracuse. So we do have several classes that if they take. So for example, I think Spanish 4, social attitudes, anatomy. We have several classes in the high school that you can take in junior and senior year that if you pay to get the college credit, you do nothing more than just take the class at Fort Lee High School. Yeah. And then for Syracuse, it's called SUPA credit, and that is our accounting classes you can get Syracuse credit for. So you'll learn more about that. You'll learn more about that as you get closer to junior year.
Okay, thank you.
It's good to jump ahead.
Yes. Okay, we have one more question. Kay, I am going to promote you to a panelist.
Hi, I just wanted to find out about the IB program.
So is there anything specific or just you wanted to know in general?
In general, please. And also, I missed the part about the sports, so can you please repeat it? My computer had run out.
So our sports program, the sports program is up and running. They did have tryouts for most sports over the summer, and they have been pretty active, I would say, since the end of July, early August. But so if you are interested in possibly signing your child up for a sport, my suggestion would be to contact Mr. Raftery. I'm not sure how far into the season we are and what that would look like, but sports are up and running at Fort Lee High School. In terms of the IB program, it is the International Baccalaureate program. It is a worldwide recognized diploma program. So we are one of 17 schools in the state of New Jersey that offer this. We do offer a pre-IB program that students come into in grade 9. They come in as pre-IB and we start to gear them and prepare them for the International Baccalaureate program and classes. The IB diploma is probably one of the most rigorous and difficult high school diplomas that a student can attain. So it is important that we start to gear them in it as early as freshman year. Ms. Green is showing what the course codes, what the course selection would look like. So if you do have any more specific questions, I am going to ask that you contact Ms. Green directly and she can kind of point you in the direction of where to go.
And also, who did you say to contact for the sports? Mr. Rapley?
Raftery, yes. He is the athletic director in the district. You know what, Lydia, if you go, oh yeah, it's on your PowerPoint, perfect. Up. There you go.
Right here.
Did you have any other questions, Kay?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have 2 more questions. At this time, I'm going to promote E. Flowers.
Good morning.
You may unmute yourself. Mr. or Mrs. Flowers, you may unmute yourself to ask your question.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
I don't know if your sound is working. I am going to promote Aurora to a panelist, and you may unmute yourself and ask your question. E. Flowers will keep you up there in case you can figure out and we can work your sound.
Okay, I have one more question. This is a question for my friend. She's listening to you guys, but she has a problem and she cannot go on. So she has a question. If a student who is not in IB program, but is in a honor class, and for missing information, she couldn't do the interview for IB program, is any chance for the student to pass in this program?
As I would like to know more about the student and their courses that they've selected. Please have your friend email me and I'll give them specific instructions. Yes, so the answer is yes, they can still join the pre-IB program, and but it really depends on certain courses that they're taking now. And there's also an interview process. So there's a process and procedure involved. So if I could just have your friend email me, I could explain more.
Yeah, because she's willing to do, and she has all the criteria to be, but she didn't, you know, her daughter, she didn't even, like, I don't know why they skipped this interview, but she is willing to do all the interview. Okay, I'm going to tell her to email you, and then.
Yeah, tell her to email me directly, and I will Google Meet with her and discuss her, the classes that she's currently in to see if she qualifies, and she will be set up with, I think that the coordinator is
Miss Etra.
Miss Etra, and for the interview.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. or Mr. Flowers was able to message me their question, and they wanted to know whether or not this presentation was going to be emailed out to parents, and it will be. So I just want to clarify that for everyone. And we have our last question is to Jess. I am going to promote you to panelist. You may unmute yourself and ask your question. So just test it. Oh, there you go.
There she is.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for the presentation. It's very informative and great. But I wanted to go back to the sports, and just I wanted to understand this correctly. So is there like a volleyball practice going on right now? Or has it been going on since August? Because I think like they were starting in August, right?
You know, I don't want to misspeak, but I don't want to misspeak. I'm not 100% certain. So if you could just contact Mr. Raftery, he would be able to give you more information. But there are practices happening. I'm not 100% sure if it's all teams though.
Okay, great. I'll just email him.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, it looks like that concludes all of our questions. We want to thank you guys for participating. You know, just keep an eye out for all of our emails that we send. This lights. This presentation will be mailed out to everyone a little bit later. And if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or to Ms. Green.
Thank you very much.
Everyone have a great rest of their afternoon.